Good morning, everybody on the book and on the tube. Hopefully, everybody's doing good, getting through their week the best they can. Hang out here for just a little bit and wait for some people to come by. Today is Toothless Tuesday. If you've never been here on a Tuesday morning before, every Tuesday I go live or make a video without my top denture to show support for those of us who are missing teeth due to our drug addictions or for any reason for that matter, to raise awareness for the damage that drugs cause to your teeth and to fight the stigma that people who are missing teeth are dumb or stupid or ugly. We are none of those things, and if we are, it's not just because we're missing teeth. There, Toothless Tuesday. Oh, yeah, my week's been going okay so far. Got a Matthew video put out yesterday. I hope you guys have seen that. If you haven't, check out the page. Make sure you check out the most recent addition to the Matthew video collection. It's kind of the kickoff of a season 2 of Matthew videos because I took a little bit of a hiatus from making Matthew videos. I made about 20 of them, and then I've just been working and life and all that stuff. So kind of had to take a break from making reels and things like that. But decided yesterday I was like, I'm gonna do it. And the shitty thing is I woke up early and I was like, I'm gonna make a Matthew video today. So I like woke up with this go-getter attitude. I'm gonna make a video, it's gonna be great, blah 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 blah. And I came downstairs, I wrote the script, I went back up, I got the whole Matthew get up all on, the makeup, I got the hoodie, I got everything on, and then I'm getting ready to shoot the video. And I get a text message from my boss. Hey, you still coming in early today? Totally forgot that I had agreed to come in early and check out the pools in the morning before everybody got there. So I had to run upstairs, take all the makeup off, get myself ready for work. I still had like dark circles under my eyes when I got there, dude. I was like, of course, get all Matthewed out. Now you got to go to work. Good morning, Josh Mutimer. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Got some viewers on Facebook too. Good to see you guys this morning. I decided to switch up the camera this morning. Going with my phone over here on the tube, going with the laptop on Facebook. We'll see how that works out. A lot of times it works out better. People on YouTube are more used to a video up top with comments underneath. So a lot of times this camera works better over here, but I like this camera too, and I want everybody to get a chance to see the whole full setup because with the wide angle you can see the whole office. So switching it up this week, maybe next week we'll go back the other way, or we'll just do whatever the hell we want. That's what we're going to do. We're going to practice our ability to do whatever we want. Free will coming at you. Morning, guys. Come on in. Come on in. Hang out with me. We got Ocarina Time in the background on the tube. You can't really see it. You can see it well over on the book. Oh, hope everybody's having a good week. Anybody got anything going on that they want to bring up? You can drop it in the chat at any time. I'd love to talk with you. Oh, my teeth. Yesterday, so because of yesterday's little mix up there with going to work, I ended up having to work and then come home and then make the Matthew video, which normally I do not do well at that. Like once I'm done with work, I'm done for the day. I don't want to do nothing, okay? Unless it's like going somewhere and doing something fun. I don't want to get it back into like creative mode or any of that. So that is one muscle that I'm working out recently, is getting back into creative mode after I'm done with work mode, because my schedule these days, that's just going to have to happen more often. So it's taken me quite a bit here to get readjusted to this new work schedule, longer than I anticipated. I thought I would be already in the flow now, but I'm getting things going, guys. I'm working on it. I promise. It was just took me a lot longer to get my ass in gear than I thought it would. But so yesterday, I actually finished off work and then home, ripped my teeth out of my face, and made a Matthew video. So then I put my teeth back in to make the Matthew aspect of the video. So I put my teeth in at like 6 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday. So I ended up, and if you don't know, if you don't have fake teeth, once you put them in, they're freaking pretty well in there, bro. Especially like I use denture adhesive. So they're in there once I put them in, right? So I put them in at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So when it was time for bed, they were not coming out, bro. So I slept with my denture in, then took them out this morning for Toothless Tuesday. It worked out fairly well on that aspect. Morning, morning. Good to see you guys. I just hit 1 year, no zippy zip. Right on. Gained 30 pounds and diabetes. Came back to looking over my shoulder though, and wifey appreciates it. Oh, no. Oh, let's see. And diabetes came back. No looking over my shoulder though, and wifey appreciates it. Right on, bro. Hell yeah. Congratulations on 1 year of no zippy zip. I can appreciate the terminology. Not zipping around anymore. That's good to see. Morning, morning. Who do we got? Ethio, morning. Good morning. Good to see you guys this morning. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Got some viewers over on the book as well. Hope you guys are doing good out there. Where's everybody from? Drop it in the comments where you're watching from. I'd appreciate that. Always interested to see where this broadcast reaches. Did anybody see the new Matthew video? Did you enjoy the new Matthew video? I apologize in a way because at the end I did a little bit of a commercial at the end of the video, and normally I don't do that, but I wanted to get the word spread that I'm doing stand-up comedy this weekend, and I know a lot of people watch the Matthew videos, so I thought I'll throw that tag on the end. Hopefully it worked out. Patience watching from Bruce. Right on. We got Upper Peninsula, Michigan. Hell yeah. Live. Subscribe. Heck yeah, Dan. That's your name? Is your name Dan? Like, subscribe, Dan? Heck yeah. Arizona. Right on. Awesome. We're broadcasting across the U.S. this morning. Oh, glad I got some native Wisconsinites in the chat as well. Good to see you guys. I am broadcasting from Whitewater, Wisconsin. It is gloomy and cold today. It looks like the sun's starting to come out a little bit, but it's going to cloud up again from what I've read. And we got a lot of wind, and it's only going to be, I think, a high of 68 here today, which is pretty freaking chilly for this time of year. Patience, I imagine you probably got it even colder up there. It's usually about 10 degrees colder in the Northwoods compared to down here. Another reason I'm super thankful for recovery and moving the hell away from my hometown. Because the change in climate from northern Wisconsin to southern Wisconsin is drastic, and it's awesome. There's not as much snow. It doesn't get nearly as cold. Hot and rainy down here in Georgia. Morning, Georgia. Morning, Hawk. Good to see ya. Let's see. That's my boy. What's the name? That's your boy. Hey, from Florida. Good morning. Good morning. Let's see. I was just watching that 70s show. I think it's based in Wisconsin. Yeah, it's in the made-up town of Pleasant Point, Wisconsin, is where that 70s show takes place. It's kind of a mixture of a few different Wisconsin towns that they kind of meshed them together to make the fake town of Pleasant Point, or Point Pleasant. Is it Point Pleasant? I think it's Point Pleasant. But it's kind of like a Stevens Point and a few other things that were put together. I actually watched a lot of that 70s show in jail, and I kind of got burnt out on it because it was just like every time that 70s show was on, that was one show that everybody in the cell would agree on. And if you've ever been to jail or if you remember the jail days, the TV is kind of a big central point of the jail cell, okay? There are a lot of thoughts had and won over the TV, man, and what we're going to watch tonight. If you got something you're looking forward to seeing, you better put it on the calendar. Oh, and see, you got to clear it with the whole cell if you're going to watch it. I remember one time I was in a cell with this big burly dude, and he like kind of dominated the TV for a while. And one of the things that he loved to watch was those singing competition shows, like not only America's Got Talent, but like The Voice and The Masked Singer, any of that kind of stuff. Like he was all about that stuff. And it was so weird to me that this dude was just huge and covered in tattoos, and he would like fight you over watching The Voice. Oh wow, I was hoping it was a real town. No, no, a mashup. Kind of like Springfield in The Simpsons, if you watch The Simpsons. When I was a kid, The Simpsons was like one of those, it was like taboo in our house. Okay, my mom didn't want us watching The Simpsons, and we had one of those old school antennas like on the 30-foot tower outside of your house, and you got that little thing, the dial inside that you twist the dial and it would rotate your antenna on top of the house. And we usually got three channels. We got 7, 9, and 13. But on a nice clear evening, you could pick up Fox 55 and you could watch The Simpsons in kind of on a grainy TV screen. And every once in a while, parents were gone and you got a good clear night and you got to tune into The Simpsons. But The Simpsons takes place in Springfield, and a lot of people argue over, is it Springfield, Illinois? Is it Springfield this? Is it Springfield that? And the creator has always said it's none of those. It is its own Springfield. Wife likes Parks and Rec. Oh, dude, that was such a funny show. I got into that show pretty hard for a little while. I was a meth addict, so I stayed up for days and just watched Parks and Rec at one point. Andy Dwyer, man. Let's see. Gordon Ramsay was always on for me. Oh yeah, my favorite show was Third Rock from the Sun. Oh, that's a good one. I loved that show. I was just talking with my wife last night. I grew up in kind of a TV family, if anybody else can relate to that. Like, we gathered around the TV to watch TV shows in the evenings, like throughout the week. Morning, morning, Isabella. Good to see ya. Yeah, so like if you grew up in that kind of house, like we watched America's Funniest Videos together, we watched Home Improvement together, because we were talking about like Ellen. You remember Ellen, the show Ellen, and when she had her big lesbian kiss, and it was like freaking world news that girls were going to be kissing on TV and stuff. Like, and now it's like you see that in commercials and stuff, you know. Do you still consume alcohol or sober from everything now? I live a life of moderation, is the way I say it. So I have still have alcohol occasionally. It doesn't, I was never an alcoholic. I never had a problem with alcohol. So I don't say, oh, anybody can do it. If your drug of choice was alcohol, definitely steer clear of alcohol. If you are 100% clean and sober, please, if it's working for you, stay that way. If it's not working for you, then reach out. There are moderation management groups, harm reduction groups where you can find support for such a said journey. But if what you're doing is working for you, always work what's working for you, right? But there's a million ways to fall into addiction in this world, and there's a million ways to find recovery in this world. Myself, I found recovery through harm reduction, now live a life of moderation. So I still do consume alcohol and I still do partake in cannabis, but that's where I draw my line in the sand. We all draw a line in the sand somewhere. Are you going to go coffee and nicotine? Are you going to draw a line before that? Are you going to draw a line before sugar even? Like, where we draw our line in the sand of this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm not going to do, this is acceptable, this is unacceptable. But, just because we disagree, I'm not saying we do, I don't know your form of recovery, but if you do disagree with my form of recovery, I've always said that doesn't mean that like we can't talk and be friends and stuff, like you can do what works for you. But I mean, I understand that there are forms of recovery where my form of recovery can be triggering to some people. You're never going to see me in a video, like drinking a beer on camera. Okay. Occasionally I will have a smoking video. But those are very much like labeled as such. Like when I brought when I brought Tommy Chong on the broadcast, like it was very much known, we're going to smoke a doobie when Tommy Chong is here, some stuff like that. But I usually do not partake in anything like that because I'm mindful of that there are other people here who work other forms of recovery that don't want to see that, can't see that, stuff like that. So very mindful of other people's recovery. Glad that I've found somewhat of a unified group of people. I call us a group of multi-minded individuals because we got people from all walks of life, all walks of addiction, all walks of recovery here at the Point of Change. And it's always been really cool how well we coexist here, and I'm able to say, well, here's what I do. And they're able to say, oh yeah, that doesn't work for me. This is what works for me. And I can always appreciate somebody else's walk in recovery. Patience, 3 years sober in July from alcohol, my drug of choice over here. Right on, Patience. Congratulations on 3 years. Guys, throw some hearts up in the chat or on the screen reacting for Patience. That's awesome. Let's see. Wisecracker, legalize in moderation. of our pursuit of happiness, jail for real criminals. Amen. Josh, still no cigarettes for me, brother. Day 150 without a cigarette. I do still have nicotine patches on though. Right on, man. That's awesome. I'm gonna be following you at some point here, bro. I'm gonna jump on the train. I might be jumping on the train way later than you already did, but one of these days, man, I'm gonna bring up the rear with the gear and I'm gonna drop these damn cigarettes, man. It's getting to that point again, like I go through these spurts, and I don't know anybody who's actually officially quit smoking cigarettes. I think they'll tell you that they quit a lot of times before it actually stuck. And same with hard drugs and everything. Like a lot of times we quit and get 3 months or whatever and then go back out and whatever else. But I've had a few spurts of no smoking. I think me and the old lady had like 6 months, and then we went like 1 month, and then we had like 9 months, and now we've been smoking for like 2 years straight since that 9 months. And then we went on vacation like last summer. And while we were on vacation, dude, like I did a stupid thing. Okay. I did a really stupid thing on vacation. And I told myself, I'm on vacation. I'm going to smoke as many cigarettes as I want. If I want a freaking cigarette, I'm gonna have one. And it's the thing is, like when you're saying that to yourself, you're not actually saying when I want a cigarette. It's whenever my addiction says it wants something, I'm gonna say yes to it, is what you're actually practicing when you do that. Whenever the wanting comes up in my brain of, ooh, I want this, or ooh, that'd be cool, I'm just gonna say yes to it. Well, I didn't say like totally give in. Back in my active addiction days, there was a quite a few year period there where I literally did that. I was like, whatever I want to do, however long I want to do it, however much of it I want to do, I'm going to say yes. I'm never going to tell my demons no again. I'm just going to let them run free in my life, right? But I kind of did that on vacation. I was like, I'm going to smoke as many cigarettes as I want. And dude, it has been so hard to back down my cigarette usage, because it was like I went on vacation, told myself yes every time I want one, I'm going to have one. I smoked like a pack and a half, 2 packs a day on vacation, and now I'm still at like a whole pack a freaking day, and it's been so hard to get myself back down, because the times that I was truly successful with quitting, and I can't say successful because I went back, but the times where I made it a longer term, I stepped myself down to where I was smoking like 3 cigarettes a day. And then I went down to where I had 1 cigarette a day for a little while there. And then eventually I just stopped. And then those were the periods where I made it 6 months or 9 months. So I think that's a good tactic to start out, but now I need to work on my longevity skills as well, and like how to stick with it 6, 9 months down the road. Because even when we had that 9 months without smoking cigarettes, for the last like 2 months of it, I was like white knuckling it, like almost every single day. I was like, oh, don't smoke, don't smoke, don't smoke, don't smoke. Like fighting myself so bad. And then we had a moment of weakness. Death of a family member came in, and it was a really tragic. I mean, all death is tragic, but this was like unexpected, young, about to get married, and he passed away unexpectedly. And Caitlin and I both started smoking again. Like that moment, as soon as we found out, we were like, give me a cigarette, like boom. And we've been back to smoking ever since. So I need to step those things out of my life and keep moving forward. Sounds like God is telling you something. Amen. Amen. He's definitely knocking on the door. God likes to do that. He doesn't like to like force you. Well, I mean, sometimes if you don't say okay when God starts saying, hey, I need you to set this down, I need you to put this down, you got to be careful, because like if you don't say, okay, God, I'm setting it down, eventually he tears it away from you in a terrifying way, right? So I got to be careful, and I got to quit. I got to quit. Look at us having this conversation right now, and hopefully I can stick to it and actually freaking set a date or start working to step down to 3 cigarettes a day, right? Nick patches work. I cut way back and then I quit, but I still dip. I got to have nicotine. I can appreciate that outlook as well. Ugh. Let's see, Josh. That's what's going on now. But we knew it was coming, but we still couldn't prepare for losing her. We lost my grandma yesterday morning, bro. It was my mom's mom. Oh man, I'm really sorry to hear that. Oh, losing the female side of the Mutimer family there, huh? Well, we'll be praying for you, bro, and praying for your grandma and praying for the whole family. Guys, throw some hearts up, care reactions, things like that in the comments. Let Josh know we got him wrapped in prayer. We love you, brother. Sorry to hear that. And Lori as well. I'm sure the whole family's hurting after a loss like that. So keep moving forward, man. Keep moving forward. And yeah, don't let that be a stumbling stone for you. I know in my heart that our family member who passed away, that we started smoking afterwards. That's another reason why I need to quit, is because even knowing that his death was a stumbling stone that sent me and Caitlin back into smoking cigarettes, I like know that he wouldn't like feeling that on the other side. So don't be like me. Listen to me. Don't listen to me. Don't start smoking again. Patience. Grief makes sobriety difficult, but I am so, so glad I quit when I did. I can finally handle my problems. Amen. Amen. Grief makes sobriety difficult. I love how you said that, because I've always said grief is like a fog on the road of life, right? Like the death of a loved one is almost like a mountain on the road of life. In some see it coming, and like, or even if you don't see it coming, this is a weird analogy, okay? But grief is like a fog on the road of life, because grief just comes out of nowhere and all of a sudden makes you slow down. And it's like it's not a fixed point, right? Like freaking a year down the road, 2 years down the road, 5 years down the road, you're still going to come across these bouts of like grief and sadness over the loss of a loved one. And I always remind people, grief and mental illness and the battles that we can't see, right? The injuries that we can't see. If you think of it like a physical injury, instead of looking at it as a mental or underlying physical thing. If we look at it as like a broken arm, or like the death of a loved one would be comparable to a freaking car accident, bro. Like if you were in a car accident, you're going to hurt for a long time. And there might be repercussions from that car accident that come up 10, 20 years down the road. All of a sudden, your low back or whatever is hurting because of that car accident that you had freaking 20 years ago. And we look at life's troubles, like the unseen battles, and we look at those and we assign them less power when actually they're usually more powerful than the physical, right? Um, so we'll have like a bad breakup or the death of a loved one. And then 10, 20 years down the road, you're kicking yourself in the butt going, why am I not over that yet? Right? Like, I need to move on with my life. Why does that still hurt? And I always tell people, like, dude, you were in a physiological car accident. Give yourself some grace on still feeling pain years later. If you were in a car accident when your back was hurting 10 years later, you'd be like, yeah, of course it is. I was in a pretty bad car accident about 10 years ago. But when 10 years later you're still feeling pain over something like that, like we feel like, why am I still feeling pain? Why am I still hurting over that? Well, of course, bro. You were in a psychological car accident. Wise says, I need denture. Oh, I need denture money. Oh man, we're gonna have to work on that, right? What I always give, I may have already given you this advice, so if I have, I apologize. But what I always tell people who are looking into getting their dentures is call up some of the dentists in your area and just speak to the receptionist. You're not setting an appointment. You're not calling to see, what it's going to cost or anything like that. But just call up a couple of them and ask them. You could even say like, "Hey, I don't know who to talk to," or "This is kind of a weird question, but are there any programs available in this area that would help people with the cost of getting their teeth fixed?" And then you could also add in, like, I'm a recovering addict, and I'm trying to figure out how to get my teeth fixed, right? A lot of times, receptionists at dentists have worked with these different county programs, grants, funding, things like that, and they have an idea of what's available in your area for you. And a lot of times there are programs out there that'll help you either with, especially for recovering addicts, there are some grants and funding available to help with that too. They want 300 plus to pull one tooth. Woof, woof. Maybe find a different dentist. Is this like an oral surgery process? What is going on here? Well, it was $2,500, I think, to pull 13 teeth out of my head. So whatever that works out for the math, I don't know. But yeah, I've given other people this advice before, and they looked into it, and it actually helped them. So check it out. You never know what's available in your area, right? Let's see. Then her mom went to heaven yesterday. Oh, going back up a second here. Let's see. Gosh, my grandma had quit cigarettes for over 30 years. Wow. Yes, it does, bro. Losing mom has definitely messed me up. She was my rock, but she is cancer free in heaven, so she is pain free, but still hurts like it just happened. Then her mom went to heaven yesterday, so I know they are together. So that helps. That's always a silver lining to this, right? Like we have to say goodbye on this side, but on the other side, they're saying hello and reuniting with loved ones and things. So there is that beautiful other side to it, and that does help with the pain a little bit. Um, it's hard to say it gets better, because like I lost my dad frick almost frickin' 10 years ago now, and but the pain changes. That'll say the pain changes, and it does in ways get better, because like when my dad first passed away, like I couldn't frickin' breathe, man. I couldn't breathe, like could not stop bawling my eyes out no matter what I did. Everywhere I went I was just like heavy and sad, and so it gets better on that aspect, but the pain changes. It doesn't always, it never fully goes away. Um, and even a few years ago, I had to allow that pain to leave in some levels, because there is this weird, and this is hard to explain if you've never felt it before, but you might be going through it too, bro, where you do start to see the sun on the other side of the clouds, right? You start to feel better. You start to not miss them every single waking moment of the day. You start to accept that they're gone, right? And there's a pain that comes with that too, a weird not wanting to let go of the pain of missing them, because the pain of losing them was the last thing they gave you. That's the best way I could describe it for me with my dad. Like I've had I had a year where dad's passing, the date of my dad's passing, and I wasn't sad. I wasn't like, cause it was like every year on that date, I was like inconsolable when that day would come up. And after a few years of it going by, eventually a year where it didn't hurt like it used to. Like it still was a little sad, but it was like it wasn't the same pain that I had felt before. And there was this weird longing to not let the pain of losing my dad go, because the pain of losing him and missing him was the last thing he gave me. So like there's this weird attachment to our pain. And so I had to go through this process of kind of accepting that it's okay, that, that life goes on and that he's gone, but I'm still here. His sunset was my sunrise. And like accepting too that like if he was still around, like he would be in really rough shape at this point. And honestly, the way the world is right now, I don't think my dad would be very happy with like what's going on. So it's just kind of it's a bittersweet situation. Thanks for that idea. No problem, bro. Hope it helps. I really do. Let's see. Sometimes knowing that your loved one is no longer in pain, having that reduce how much you hurt. You can also get you thinking then maybe you didn't love that person enough. Overthinker. Boom. Boom. That's an excellent way to say it there. Overthinking it, overanalyzing it, and wondering. And I mean, they say grief is like unexpressed love. I've heard that before, that it's all the love that we have for that person that we're never going to be able to give them. So it hurts. And that's a beautiful way to look at it as well. So, yeah, we loved who we loved while they were here. in the best way that we could, you know? And I look back at my relationship with my dad while he was alive. And I mean, there's definitely plenty of moments where I'm like, damn, I really screwed up, really dropped the ball. I was not a good son, you know? Um, but knowing that, for me, anyways, for me and my belief structure, knowing that on the other side of this veil, there is only love over there. So even those bad moments, those things where I hurt dad and those arguments and things that we went through together, um, on the other side, I I can't believe anything less than dad when you pass that you move into that love and you can't look back and see that you can look back and see all that pain and hurt, but from through the veil and looking at it through the lens of love, you don't see, oh, they hurt me here and he hurt me here and he did this wrong here. You see the full story. You see, oh, okay, well, yeah, he was under the influence that day when he said that. So that wasn't him speaking. And you see the full, not only you love the whole situation, but there's an ultimate understanding, because I believe you move into God, right? So you become part of God. So you are everywhere. You become like an omnipotent being of sorts. It's like a wave going back into the ocean, right? Like while a wave is coming towards the shore, you can see the wave, you know that that's a wave, you can measure it, you can see it. And then once it hits the shore, it goes back into the ocean. I kind of have that same belief towards humans that like we are from source. God is our source, right? So once our wave crashes onto the shore, we go back into the ocean that is our Lord. And once you're there, you can be anywhere, you can be everywhere. You see all, you know all, you're in God, right? And if God sees all and knows all and has ultimate love and ultimate understanding, then even those moments where somebody hurt you, you're going to be able to look at that and go, yeah, but it's okay because I have full ultimate understanding of the situation, and I totally get that he was doing the best he could, or that he wasn't doing the best he could, but it's because of this other circumstance or whatever. So I believe there will be this ultimate enlightenment on the other side. And that's a beautiful thought. And I kind of had this moment where I was talking to my dad. Might have been might have been a year or two ago, even now that I had this thought. But I pray to my father, not only the Lord as my father, but my actual dad. Like I talk to him, and sometimes you get things back, sometimes you don't, whatever. But I said to Dad, I said, I envy you because like you can be anywhere at any time. You can go back and watch, the World Series in whatever year, you could go do whatever anytime, every time. You're always like everywhere. And like that's just so beautiful. And I wish I had that. And the message I got back was, I wish I had what you had. You get to be in one moment, one time, one place, present right there. Like you're not just constantly taking in everything from the beginning and end of creation. And it was this moment of realization for myself, of gratitude for just being alive, and just appreciate it while you got it. Because yeah, when you're gone, it's going to be something, it's going to be beautiful. But like for now, we're right here. We get to live in one moment, one time, one place. We get to have human emotions, feelings. If you ever heard the song "When I'm Gone," it's an old timey song. But he keeps listing different things that, like, some of them are things that we look at as burdens, some of them are things we look at as joys. But then he says, like I won't be singing this song off key when I'm gone, so I might as well do it while I'm here. And I won't get to dance through the meadows when I'm gone, so I might as well do it while I'm here. And it's a beautiful reminder to when you're gone, you won't have to worry about your struggles and your problems. Because that's another line in it is I won't have to worry about my struggles when I'm gone, so I guess I'd better do it when I'm here. Um, all the things that we get to enjoy while we're here. Oh, still got a little while. I can still hang out. Anybody got anything else on their minds they want to talk about? Let's see. I'd recommend one channel to every atheist, Dutch Peasant Productions. Christians too. Dutch Peasant Productions. I am a Christian, but I am what you would call a spiritual, I don't know. entrepreneur. Is that the word I'm looking for? I love looking into other religions, other belief structures. Um, I identify as a Christian. Sometimes it's hard to say I'm a Christian. You know that? That's a weird thing. Um, because you're not supposed to be able to identify me because I say I'm a Christian. You know, we're supposed to identify each other by how we love each other. And I fail at that one quite often. And I fail to follow in his footsteps so often. I fail to love people like he loved people so often. And my disbelief. I was an atheist most of my life, so I have a lot of disbelief in my mind and in my heart. And it has been like one of the big trials, right? Like there was the persecution of the Christians after Jesus was crucified. Like pretty much anybody that said that they seen what he did or that they believed that he was the son of God was killed, right? And that's a huge reason why Christianity spread so fast afterwards, is because so many people were willing to die for that they would like put a knife to your throat and say, do you really believe that Jesus was the Son of God? And people would still say, yeah, and then get their throat slit, right? So it's like, wow, all these people are dying for this thing. Maybe it was true, kind of thing. And I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, man, if the persecution of the Christians started again, right? If somebody showed up at your door, put a knife to your throat, and said, do you really believe that Jesus was the Son of God? And if you say yes, we're going to kill you, would you still say yes? Do you have that much belief that you would die for this belief? And I don't know if I can say yes. I hate to be that guy, but I don't know. And I think that's where it's like, God's going to work on that in me and he's going to help my unbelief. But I think it's really good to explore everything and just to see everything with an open mind and have an open heart to all these different pathways and stuff, because I'm a little bit of an omnist on all of it, in that we're all kind of talking about the same guy and we're all of our beliefs intertwine at some point. Seems like no matter what religion you look at, whether it be a messianic belief or whatever, like there are correlations that go back to Christianity and a lot of it. Even science, I see so many similarities between science, this thing that everyone says is trying to disprove God, but in so many ways I'm like, yeah, but they just keep proving like everything is made out of the same thing. So maybe everything's made out of God. Maybe matter is God. Oh, let's see. If you like getting into conspiracy, he's incredible. Dutch Peasant Productions. That's what I was going to write down. Yeah, I don't have to agree with everything I hear. I just like hearing it. I follow a lot of people that have different belief structures than I do just because, like, yeah, sometimes I see their video and it, like, offends me, but then I get so intrigued by my offense, right? Like, why did that just offend me? Why did him saying this or believing this, where in me is that causing my anger? It's good to be offended sometimes. Check him out on your cigarette break. Oh, look at you. Coming in here living up to your name, you wisecracking son of a bitch, you. Let's see. Anything positive, says Josh. Hell yes, anything positive. In this shit show of a world, in this troublesome life, it is so rare that we have things that are positive. So if I can find something that spreads a good message, honestly, that's a big reason why I listen to my music genre has really changed over the years. And these days it's more, say there's that cigarette break. These days, most of my playlist is Christian music and then some of Caitlin's like bluegrassy stuff and things like that, just because it's positive. Because over the years of my life, one thing that you'll notice as you get older is that most music isn't positive, especially like mainstream music. Like I grew up listening to country music and rock and roll, right? Like that was my whole life. Was I was raised in the 90s on 90s country, Brooks and Dunn, Garth Brooks, all this stuff. And like honestly, I'm amazed at how many times I hear a song from my childhood that I grew up thinking that's a love song. And now I hear it and I'm like, That is a song about a man getting wasted because he misses the love of his life. Like this is a heartbroken cowboy. This is not actually a this is not a love song. Like so many of the love songs aren't actually about love. Like they're not actually love. It's a sad, sad song about a woman who got away years ago, or how he's or a cheating whore. They're all about cheating whores, and even the song "When a Man Loves a Woman." I don't. That's not a love song. If you don't know, that is not a love song. Just like if you like pina coladas, totally not a love song. Like, grew up thinking these were about love. And they are on one level, but it's more like love hurts, love scars. Oh my goodness. That's when country was good, bro. Oh, for sure. And I still listen to it. I still listen to my 90s country, but there is so many times where I'm listening to a song and I'm like, wow, there are so many sad cowboys out there. Like, oh man. Yeah, if you listen to the words of that song, When a Man Loves a Woman, he's actually like saying how like he'll ignore all the signs that she's terrible and just stay with her. He'll throw away all his best friends and brothers just because they tried to tell him that she's terrible. So he'll throw them all away and stay with her. He'll throw his whole life away because he loves a woman. I'm like, man, I had no idea listening to lyrics as a grown up. Right, dude. Right. I had no idea. I mean, but then there are good ones like Randy Travis, I'm gonna love you forever and ever, amen. There are songs out there that you're like, yup, that's a good love song. And like that song in itself, Forever and Ever Amen by Randy Travis, it's weird for me to listen to that song and think about the fact that there was a time when that was a new song. Like it feels like that has just always been an old song. Like you could go back go back to the 1700s and that is still a 20-year-old song. You know what I mean? Uh, Suresh, good morning, Suresh. Good to see ya. All the way from India joining us this morning. There's a pastor of a church in India that's in our chat this morning, guys. So be on your best behavior, okay? Be on your best behavior. Everybody calm down. Especially me. I need to cool my jets up here. Uh, yeah, speaking of cooling my jets and watching my tongue, this weekend I am doing stand-up comedy in the Northwoods. I'm going up to Tony, Wisconsin, my old stomping grounds, right in the neighborhood of my old stomping grounds anyway. Grew up in Hawkins, used to do a lot of meth in Ladysmith. Now I'm coming to do comedy in Tony. It's going to be an awesome night. I'm excited. I got a really good set worked out. Tonight, Caitlin and I are going to sit down and like I'm going to go through it with her and we're going to rearrange some of the jokes because it's just not quite there yet. But we will get there by Saturday. But that's one thing that I need to work on is watching my language because the bar that has hired me to come do comedy, they don't really they told me I can say hell shit and damn. Okay. I am approved for hell shit and damn. But they really would rather if I stay away from F bombs. And I've even gotten quite a few comments on my posts that I'm coming to do comedy there. I've had a lot of people commenting saying, better watch your language in that bar. Which is why if you watch the recent Matthew video, I threw it in as a joke in there because that's a thing. The good thing is that even though my comedy isn't what you would call safe comedy because we're talking about drugs and we're talking about adult stuff like that. For the most part, I don't swear very often when I'm doing stand-up comedy. And I think I might have to frickin' put on my suit just to remind myself that not supposed to be swearing. You gotta stay professional up here. Wisecracker, Tony, Wisconsin? Yes, sir. The in-between bar. Doing comedy in Tony. Don't tell Caitlin. Wait, is that funny? I don't know if that was funny. We'll give you it's a stretch. It's a stretch for a joke, but I'll give it to you. Northwoods. Yes, sir. The Northwoods. We're going back up home. Oh, got to be careful up there. It's cool to go back up there and do things like this for me because through my recovery, one thing that's been good about being a recovery advocate and just being a Facebooker and a YouTuber and all this stuff is that it has really changed the way the people of my hometown area look at me. Um, Being a meth addict there for 13 years, didn't have very positive outlook on me, and it's a very small area where everybody knows everybody kind of a place, right? So everybody knew I was a meth head. So I'm very thankful that I've been so outspoken about my recovery because now when I go up there, it's almost like I get like a celebrity welcome. You know what I mean? Like I get like people yell to me when I'm at the gas station and stuff. Hi, Matt Jablonski, the point of change, love you. And it's really helped me have a positive way. Like it gives me something positive to look forward to going back home because like when I first moved away and found recovery for like the first couple years there, going back home was pretty triggering for me. Like getting back up into those areas and just like if you've ever been to the Northwoods of Wisconsin, it's got a very unique look to it. You are in the freaking woods, bro. And I guess that's something I never really noticed as a kid, but now as an adult going back, I can really appreciate it more. Like as a kid, it felt like I lived in a town and there was woods on the edge of the town. It was like a town and it was surrounded by woods. Now as an adult, I look at it as, no, you lived in the woods and there was a town cut out of it. Okay, this was not a town with woods around it. This was the woods with a town inside of it. Like different perspective. Um, but when you're driving down the road up there and you have like like the forest is like right to the sides of the road. So it's like road and then 40-foot tall trees on each side of the road. And for like my first 2 years going up there, just that in itself was triggering for me. Just seeing the tall trees on each side of the road, especially driving at night with my headlights on, shining on the trees and stuff, it would take me right back to going on dope runs, dude. So, and then plus it's a small area. I did a lot of dope for over a decade in that whole area, all over the place. I was a thief. I was a criminal. I was a liar. I was all these terrible things, right? So, like every street I go down, every freaking neighborhood I go through, I'm like, yep, used to go to that house and do dope. Yep, stole something out of that guy's garage. Yep, ripped a guy off over there. Yep, had a gun pulled on me over there. Like every street, every freaking house was a reminder, a memory, a trigger. Um, so it was really hard for me to face that area. But over the years of my recovery and doing this advocacy stuff and traveling back home to share a message of hope on a regular basis, I like to go back up there and share my story and do inspirational stuff. Now it's transitioning into comedy, and I'm very thankful that the people of the Northwoods want to support my journey and that my first paid comedy gig is back up in the Northwoods. I love that. So I'm excited to go back up there and share a message. But that in and of itself has helped me have a better way of looking at my hometown. And it's helped me create new memories of now it's not every street I go down is, oh, yep, there's dope in that house, blah, blah, blah. Now it's like, hey, I shared my story at that bar over there. Oh, I did comedy over here one time. Oh, that's where I shared my story over there. Um, so it's helped me change my attitude towards the area where I used to use. Let's see. I never stole. I microdosed. $40 a month. Oh, right on. Microdosing, huh? Yeah, I macrodosed a lot. I was macro. Macro Matt. No, nobody ever called me that. uh, whew. I'm gonna make it up there one day, bro. Right on, brother. Either you're gonna make it up here or I'm gonna make it down there. One or the other. Uh, I know I want to be somewhere where there's palm trees when I hit my 10 year. That much I know. So maybe I'll be down in the Florida area and you can come across that Florida Georgia line and you can come say hello. Let's see. There's someone's prescription. Oh, from the last Matthew video. Hell yes, dude. I'm glad you got that. I mean, I'm sure everybody's gonna get it, but it was very when I thought of that, I was like, hee hee hee, that's funny. How far is that from Menominee and Marinette? Menominee, Marinette area. Gonna make me look stuff up. I don't know. Let's see. Let's ask Google. How far from Menominee, Menominee to Tony, Wisconsin? It is an hour and 32 minutes from Menominee to Tony. You go east, and then you shoot north. Shoom. That's one wonderful thing about the Northwoods. It's like two roads. That is it. Like everything is go this way and then go that way. Like, I grew up with like in the whole area I grew up in, like it's Highway 8, it's Highway 27, and it's Highway 13. Like that is it. Like three of them. Okay. And now I moved down here. We got like six freaking highways that run through here. They're like right in town here. We got 89, 59, 13, 12, like all these different highways right around me. And no wonder I'm still getting lost. I've been living down here for almost a decade now, and I still have no idea where I am. I still use the GPS like everywhere I go. I'm an hour above Menominee. Oh, what did you say? Isn't that what you said, though? Yeah, Menominee Marinette. Oh, okay. So it's going to be like a half hour for you then. Just go that way. You'll get there. Oh, it's a bar in the middle of nowhere, out on County I, north of Tony, Wisconsin. You will find a bar by a bridge, and that is where I will be, and I will be telling jokes, and it will be so fun. Oh, I'm excited. Excited and nervous. I think I'm more nervous about dropping F-bombs than I am about making people laugh. I am going to be so nervous that I will accidentally drop an F-bomb, especially being back in my hometown area and like telling stories and stuff. And like, it's going to be kind of hard to not, oh yeah, fucking this or fucking that, you know? Like, you be careful, young man. You watch your mouth. That owner of that bar is going to come over that bar and wash my mouth out with soap, bro. My wife doesn't appreciate drug humor. I love the Tweaker Geographic clips. Right on. I'm hit or miss. I'm hit or miss. There are times when meth head humor like makes me laugh harder than ever, but there are times where I'm like, don't joke about that. It's hard. It's hard, right? It's definitely I like recovery humor for sure. I like it, you know, I don't mind if people are talking like in a sense positively about drugs if they're living in a life where they're not on drugs, you know. But it's when I see like people who are still actively using doing jokes about the use about their use that I'm like, shut up. Like you can't talk about that until it's in the past, bro. Then it's funny. It's funny when it's in the past. But if you tell a story about how high you were and how you couldn't find your pants and you had to walk through town and it was last night, to me, that's not funny. That's sad. And you should probably get some help. Like, uh, oh, let's see. But it's to each their own, you know, when it comes to humor, especially like I'm a church goer, and I recently had a friend at church asking me about comedy, and he's a really deep questioner, this guy. He's an older man, but he has a really intricately, like, almost an old man autistic brain, right? Like he's got a journal with him that he writes like everything down. First time he met me, he asked for my name and my phone number and wrote it down in his journal. And he takes notes all the time on like a lot of things. But he had some really awesome questions for me about just being a comedian. And it's not always about like the thing. He's not asking about the thing. He's asking about your feelings and how you feel or how you navigate this kind of a situation or how does this situation make you feel, you know? And he was asking me about hearing ungodly humor because I go to open mics and stuff. So he asked me like, how does that make you feel when you go to an open mic and hearing other people maybe either cursing a lot or straight up like atheist humor where they're mocking God and stuff like that, and how does that make you feel? And it's interesting because when it comes to comedy, I have this very open mind, right? I have an open mind when it comes to most things in the world, right? But when it comes to comedy, especially, because they're just jokes. I have like an extremely open mind when it comes to comedy because of that, because we're joking. It's all just a joke. Some of it's funny because it's true. I'll give you that. But even funny because it's true, it's a joke. So like it's for me, I don't get offended. Like if a comedian says some joke about God or about churchgoers, I've even heard quite a few jokes. Not, I can't say quite a few, but I have heard a few jokes about Christians, right? Scammers and spammers are calling me, guys. Um, so like, what was the one joke I heard? Oh, okay. So this is a little bit sacrilegious, but I'm going to retell. This is somebody else's joke. Okay, guys. I don't want your letters. All right. Don't send them to me. I won't read them. Okay, I will. P.O. Box 394, Whitewater, Wisconsin. But still. So this guy told this joke about anal sex. And he says, I don't like butt stuff. Like it's the new age thing is everybody being all about butts, but I don't like butt stuff, but I do like it if a girl offers butt stuff to me. He says, I just like to know that the option is there. He's like, I want to know that you like me enough to do it, but I don't actually want you to do it. He says, for me, butt stuff is like, oh, what was this? Abraham, the Abraham and Isaac story in the Bible where Abraham takes his son up the mountain to kill him because God said to kill him, but then he gets there and God says don't kill him, kind of thing. Uh, he's like, to me, anal sex is like Abraham's sacrifice of his son Isaac. Like, I just want to know that you're willing to do it. I don't want you to actually do it. Like, I see the humor in that. I thought it was funny. And then he went on to say, like, if I was at a water park and they were like, we're sorry, the water slide isn't working right now. You can use this other water slide, but it goes through the septic lines. I'm sorry, I don't want to go down that water slide. It's like, do you have maybe another water slide in the north side of the park that I could use? I thought it was great. I thought it was great. His name's Chris Schmidt. He's a comic out of Milwaukee, and he's freaking hilarious. He's also a sober comic, and he was what else? What was his other joke? I don't mean to do your bit here, Chris, but it's only three people watching anyway, so they're gonna hear your jokes. His joke about being sober. He was like, I had to quit drinking because as I got older, like drinking, I started to have a hangover that would just last like days and weeks and months sometimes on these hangovers. So finally, I quit drinking. And I guess this is just how I feel. And then he says, some people say, oh, I don't need alcohol to have fun. I've realized I just don't need to have fun. I love that guy. He's so freaking funny. I've been kind of watching other comedians when I go to these open mics because the campground where I work, they're building a bar and on the campground, and they want me to do some comedy nights there. So I've been watching these local comics from Milwaukee. It's weird because I'm there, like I'm still learning comedy, right? So I'm there, I'm kind of watching and learning a little bit of like crowd control and like when to take the microphone out of the stand, like all these different little aspects of stand-up comedy that I'm trying to digest and figure out and learn and craft my own abilities. But I'm also there like doing a talent scout kind of thing. I'm watching these guys and like trying to figure out like who's the funnier guys, who do I think I could get to come to Fort Atkinson kind of thing. Because eventually they want me to do like Thursday night comedy shows. Not like every Thursday, but they're going to do some open mics and some stuff like that. So they asked me to try and find a couple other comedians from the area and see if we would do a comedy show. Let's see. How do I feel about laughter as a Christian? If it's funny but wrong, it's still funny but wrong, but funny. I do prefer kind of clean comedy. I prefer kind of clean comedy in the aspect, like I was talking to Caitlin. If you tell a joke and the whole reason the joke was funny is because you dropped an F bomb in the joke, then the joke wasn't funny. You know what I mean? So on one level of being a comedian, I kind of try to stay clean because it's a little more challenging on one aspect of like you have to think outside the box. You can't just, you know, and there's a comedy style that I'm noticing a lot. That it's like this new bro humor. I've been calling it bro humor. Um, but I've noticed quite a few comedians that do this where they fake laugh on the last word of the sentence to evoke a laugh out of the crowd. And it's like the joke they said wasn't even really that funny, but like I don't know how to explain it any better than that, but they like on the last word they drop a laugh like that. On the last word of the sentence, they just and then they drop another laugh. And it like somewhat makes the crowd laugh when you do it, but I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm like that wasn't funny. You just laughed when you said it and made everybody laugh with you, you know? Um, let's see. Say fudge instead of the F bomb. That was actually my original idea was now I'm giving away my set. But at the beginning of the thing, I'm going to call out the fact that I can't swear. I'm going to say it. Whether I swear or not in my set, I'm going to say it at the end. I'm going to make some kind of a joke about the fact that I'm not allowed to swear, right? Because obviously I've gotten like 3, 4 different comments from people saying, watch your language in that bar, blah, 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 blah. So I have to say something about it, right? It's a well-known thing that you don't swear in this bar, apparently. So I'm gonna have to call it out. So I was gonna put that as part of my bit was so tonight instead of dropping f-bombs, I'm going to replace it with fudge, right? Um, but then, like I was talking to Caitlin, and I was like, I don't know if I would be able to stick to that bit. Later on in the bit, I'm going to end up saying an F bomb. I like the Blue Comedy Tour guys. Oh yeah, Blue Collar Comedy Tour. That got huge. I don't know about the rest of the world, but in northern Wisconsin, Blue Collar Comedy Tour was all of the frickin' rage when that came out, dude. Everybody watched that and watched it numerous times. Larry the Cable Guy's career was built out of that, you know. We got Toe Mater because of the frickin' redneck comedy tour. Yeah, those guys were a huge influence on my comedy. I think the biggest influence, if I got to call out one comedian who has influenced my comedy style the most, I would say Conan O'Brien. Growing up as a little kid, I used to love watching Jay Leno and Conan O'Brien talk shows. And Conan was always the one that, to me, he was way funnier than Jay Leno. I loved his just silly style, his like irrelevant humor. Like the masturbating bear was like the funniest freaking thing in the world to me when I was a little kid. Triumph the insult comic dog. I used to love just for me to poop on. That was the whole punchline of this freaking dog puppet. And I used to love that guy. But growing up watching him and doing his just silly slapstick kind of goofy humor, that's a lot of, and but if we're looking outside of the professional world, I definitely get most of my humor from my mom. And if you ever meet my mom, you would immediately notice that my mother is a card and she kept me laughing through my childhood. So she is where I get all of my humor. Let's see, go to jail for public drunkenness. I was drunk in a bar. You threw me into public. Oh yeah, I remember that joke. Larry the Cable Guy ain't right, but it's funny. Ron's got a lot of drinking jokes and they are funny. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Larry the Cable Guy is weird too. That's a weird thing because that's not him. Like Larry the Cable Guy is a character. That is not like that's where he almost didn't fit into the blue collar comedy tour, and and it's weird because some people think like that's how that guy actually talks, and like that's his real voice, and that's who his real name's not even Larry. And he's never been a cable guy, not once. The character of Larry the Cable Guy is something that the guy himself come up with. So he was one of out of the 4 blue collar guys up there. Like Larry the Cable Guy was the one that's a character. Like Ron White was himself, Jeff Foxworthy is himself, Bill Engvall is himself, and then Larry the Cable Guy. you know. And actually, I didn't know that for a long time. I actually found it out just a few years ago. I seen an interview with the real guy, not Larry. I mean, it is. We call him Larry the Cable Guy, right? Like, so it was Larry the Cable Guy on a podcast, but he was being himself and like talking about the fact that that's not how he really talks. And I was like, What? Is your mom single? My dad just broke up and is an eligible bachelor. First of all, no. Second of all, I'm not up here pimping out my mom on the internet, okay, bro? You know how insulted my mother would be if I was like, hey, mom, some guy on YouTube wants you to go hook up with his dad. Uh, she would be like, okay. No, I'm just... I guess if it's for your followers, Matthew, I'll do it. Mom! All right. Let's see. That was Ron White. Love that guy. For sure. Ron White. Suresh says, yes, my beloved brother Matty. Yes, my beloved brother Suresh. Let's see. Some wisecracker wants to meet up with you. Some wisecracker's dad. Some son of a wisecracker was in my video. Tearing up laughing over here. Good, good, good. You tell your father to stay away from my angel mother. I don't know, this all depends. Does he like watching cops? Because that's pretty much what my mom does. Go watch live PD with my mother for 7 hours. It's so funny. My mom and my stepdad love watching cops. Like live PD is what they watch like all the time. And I don't like watching those shows. I've lived it. I've been there. I get weird feelings when I watch those kind of shows. For one, I get like weirdly like I understand both sides of the situation, you know? Like I have compassion on the person getting busted, and I'm also like compassionate for the police officer at the same time. So it brings about those weird, confusing emotions inside of me. Um, but I just think it's funny that like I don't watch those kind of shows. Caitlin doesn't watch those kind of shows. Nobody that I hang out with or talk to like watches those kind of shows. I don't hang out with drug addicts anymore. I'm not around those kind of chaotic situations. So the only place I go where I am going to have to see a bunch of police officers and methamphetamine is my mom's house. The last time we were there, I was sitting at the kitchen table, just watching, staring at the TV, and they're showing us plethora of meth pipes and baggies of meth and all this stuff all over the cop car, and this meth head screaming at a cop in the background and stuff, and I'm just sitting there like, boy, I'm thankful I'm solid in my recovery. uh, Coming to mom's could be very triggering if I wasn't 9 years down the road. Love the paramedics live PD. Well, yes, I just have a hard time watching any of that stuff. I'd rather watch Marvel movies. I want my people being shot to be fake. You know, if I'm gonna watch TV and people are gonna be doing drugs and getting shot in the face, I want it to be done by Frank Castle and the Punisher. I don't want it to be real situations where there's a real human's life on the line. Oh. And can you imagine like being one of the people on those shows? Like, not only do the police pull up, but I mean, if you've ever been busted, there's already like three squads there, right? Like, there's already cops everywhere. It's already super chaotic and red and blue lights flashing and all this shit. And then you got some guy like, how do you feel right now on the worst day of your life? You're about to get busted for smoking meth with your kids in the car. Oh my goodness. I can't watch that drama stuff. Me neither. Like when it gets super dramatic, especially when people start piping off to the cop and everything and it gets like super chaotic, it's it's not triggering, but I'm just like I'd rather not watch this shit. Like I don't care for one. I don't know these people. Uh and on other levels, I'm just like, just do what he says. He's going to kill you. He has full authority to shoot you in the face or kidnap you and hold you against your will for ransom. It's weird that that's legal for our country to do it to you, isn't it? Isn't that just a little weird that, like, I can't just say, hey, this guy did something I don't like. I made up all these rules. You guys got to follow them. If you don't follow me, you got to pay me money. Or I'm going to kidnap you. I'm going to put you in a freaking metal and cement cell in my basement, and I'll feed you, and you'll get caught and stuff. But, like, until you pay me money, I'm not gonna let you out. Like that is super illegal and terrible, and you could never do that to people. But the police, the people who stop you from doing that stuff, they're allowed to do that. It's just a little weird. You're not supposed to charge people money and keep them in a cell in your basement. So because you did that, we're gonna charge you money and put you in a cell in our basement. Uh, Yeah, they can do it, but we can't. I mean, it's not like I want to do that. I just think it's weird that, like, you can't. And the punishment for doing that to people is they do it to you. um, I like comedies, Adam Sandler flicks. Right on. Adam Sandler flicks. I personally appreciate my Adam Sandler to be completely irrelevant. Okay? I like old school Adam Sandler comedies where it was, well, I mean, he still had a nice message in the background, but I think the comedy took more of the center stage than the nice message. Like Click, for instance. I like that movie a lot. But you don't have to make me frickin' bawl my eyes out and have a frickin' life-changing epiphany at the end of your movie, Adam Sandler. All right, that was uncalled for. All right, all of a sudden that movie Click took a turn, and he's dying in the rain in a parking lot, and I'm over there bawling my eyes out like, what in the fuck? Go back to farting in David Hasselhoff's face. I like that part. Uh, his movie That's My Boy, which was like a flop apparently, and not a lot of people like it, but I find it freaking hilarious, and I think it's so funny, and I think it's great that it stayed funny right till the end. Like, didn't stop being stupid and funny till the end. I loved it. Even though his accent was terrible through the whole movie, but I found humor in the stupid accent and everything. Oh, all right, guys. It is after 10 o'clock. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me this morning. I hope you guys enjoyed the Matthew video from yesterday. If you didn't see it, go to the page, check it out. If you're in the excuse me. If you're in the northern Wisconsin area and you would love to see me live, I would love to see you live as well. Come on out to Tony, Wisconsin this weekend, Saturday, June 20th. Show starts at 6 p.m. I will have some books with me for sale as well. I don't really have any merchandise to sell or anything like that. But if anybody up there has my merchandise and you want it signed by me or something like that, awesome. I would definitely do that too. Otherwise, just come on out. See me do some comedy and rock out with me. Get some food. I'm excited for food too. Let's see. I needed this today. Thank you, bro. Good. I'm glad you guys got some laughs, some good lessons, and some fun out of me this morning. Never seen it. I like 51st Dates and Waterboy. Oh, right on. 51st Dates and Waterboy. Good movies. 11 o'clock here. 10:10 here. All right, 10:10 recess. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning, guys. I will catch you next time. Until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay clean. All right, shut them down one at a time. YouTube, get out of here. Hey, that's a wrap. All right, guys, we'll catch you next time. Oh, wait, that was Facebook. You're YouTube. Ha. All right, well, later, YouTube.